But take a look at this. Can I just show you? You see that? Can you see that? I mean, that's a thing. This is my Azorean CrossFit. Bon dia and welcome. My name is Lisa, and if you're new to this channel, I am chatting and sharing my life about moving, leaving everything in North America and coming to the Azores, reclaiming a lot about my roots and living a really different, extraordinary life. And I brought along my fabulous husband, 22 years, my two amazing children, teenagers, and the sassiest French bulldog you've ever met. His name is Diesel, and I'll bring him on for a little bit later because he always likes to make an appearance. Today, I want to share and show you something that I promise you I never thought that I was going to be doing. Absolutely never, especially in my corporate days and wearing my heels, being in the big city, hustle and bustle, back-to-back Zoom calls, protein shakes for all my meals. I'm telling you, what I'm talking about is growing my own food in my backyard. So much as this is a surprise to me that I'm doing it, the truth is this was a childhood dream of mine that I gave up on a long time ago. So let me take you back, tell you a bit of a story. Grab yourself your Duro wine, some Azorean tea, or a glass of water, whatever you want, but let's have a little cozy chat. When I was young, I spent so much time with my grandparents. They're from this island, and they immigrated from this island to North America. And in traditional Portuguese family style, my parents went out to work, and I was fortunate enough to spend time with two amazing people who had a huge influence on my life, were my grandparents. They had a garden, and I spent such good memories remembering getting tomatoes, mint, all of the things that they would grow in this tiny little garden that they had. And I remember the joy they had doing it. I remember the amazing food. And I remember spending time playing in the garden with them. And it came because they had land here in Terceira, and they farmed. And I can only imagine what it would have been like, if I think about it, to have left this beautiful green large space to go into a more of a city atmosphere. But they did it. And they did it so that we could benefit from what was available in a different country at that time. I've never forgotten that, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. And so part of this journey about coming home, that's funny, I keep calling it home, but it's new to me, but I guess it feels like it's home somewhere deep in my soul. Coming back here, it was so important to pick up what they had done, which was farming. When I was young, we would spend time back there. And I remember someone asking me a question, "What do you want to do when you grow up, Lisa?" And I distinctly remember saying, "I want to be a gardener." I was very quickly told at that age that that was not available to me because you can't make money, Lisa. Being a gardener, you have to pick something else. So I did. I did the right thing. I went to school, I got my degrees, I went into the corporate world, I started my own business, I started coaching people on Wall Street and executives and entrepreneurs, and I did the business things. And then I left the business things to come here and, wait for it, be a gardener. And it's so funny to me because I'm at an age where I felt pretty accomplished in a lot of my life. I am a complete newbie novice. I am learning everything from scratch, and I'm going to be willing to do some of that on camera to show you, not because I'm trying to be perfect in this, because if you know anything about gardening, and even if you don't, I can tell you, it's a new experience all the time. But I want to walk you around my garden, show you what I'm doing, and I promise you the thing that's growing the most in this backyard is me. So I want to help grow really unique things on the island, you know, for different tastes, different recipes. And then I'm also curious from a longevity point of view, like what are some superfoods that I can help grow to, you know, whether it's different herbs or just, you know, what are the needs? So that is super fun and curious to me. But this year, I am just really happy with anything that grows because with all the moving and stuff, we started later than we should have. And so when Avelino and I were talking, we were talking about how it's late in the season to plant all these things. And I just didn't want to waste a year. You know, I thought, like, let's just plant it and let's just see what happens. I will at least, at the minimum, learn something and get some great exercise. And I can tell you, these potatoes, we didn't think were gonna grow because they were they were really late going in the ground. There's no, there's just organic horse manure on there, but there's no chemicals, there's no fertilizer, there's nothing on it. Those are some crazy big potatoes already. That's just fun. I came here to the island for lots of reasons, and I'll share reasons why in different episodes, and I hope some of it resonates with you. And I'll definitely give you some questions that I asked myself, because when I was thinking about how I wanted to age and how I wanted the rest of my life to look like, and as some changes were happening in the world and uncertainties were popping up, I really wanted to craft this next version of my life, not just for me, for my kids, for my legacy. And I understood that the next part of my life, I needed my body to come along with it, because as much as I'd really relied on my mind a lot and my discipline to push through things, if your body doesn't come along for the ride, the second half starts to get less and less fun. So longevity is something I play with a lot. And coming here and being able to garden, I know if you look at conversations with Blue Zones and studies they have about longevity, gardening is one of the top things. And I didn't fully understand that. I thought maybe it was just the idea of eating fresh food. But now that I've been here in what I call my Azorean CrossFit, this is my new gymnasium out here. And I've designed it in a really interesting way. First, I'll say, you're going to be meeting someone named Avlino. So have I figured all this out on my own? Absolutely not. I've really dug into community here for experts. And so he is a world-renowned, really interesting man about bioorganic farming. So he has taught me a lot, and I've picked up some stuff.
You like seafood?
Yes.
Try my ice plant.
Okay, we're going to start sampling already.
It's like the ocean exploded in our mouths.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It took a little bit. Wow. I'll also say that if you're thinking about diving in, just go head first. I'll walk you around my garden, and a lot of the things I have planted, I planted too late. And I wasn't sure any of this was actually going to even grow. But I wanted to do it, one, because I knew I'd learn more trying and failing than I would if I didn't try anything. Because I took the courses, I read the books. But still, until you actually do it, take all your nails off and be okay getting dirt underneath it, it's a different experience. The second reason is the exercise I'm getting here is amazing. So I haven't installed an irrigation system, but I am going to at some point. But I really wanted to stop sitting. In North America, I just sat on my butt all day. And I know that it wasn't good, but it was so easy for me to get in back-to-back Zoom calls, to just grab a protein shake for lunch. I would have all the fancy tech about rings and watches and all the things tracking my steps. And it wasn't that many. And it wasn't because I didn't think about it, but it was because the environment I built around me had me so sedentary, just sitting and in the hustle. So here, not designing my irrigation system, which seems quite crazy to me, and I can tell my neighbors just give me a wave and a little laugh at sometimes. But I have two of these green 4-liter water jugs, and they are my irrigation system. The reason why that works for me is because I can easily have an excuse not to go to the gym or not want to go. But these plants don't give you any days off. So unless it's raining, they're going to require me to come out and water. And that means more to me. They say that there's accountability. Well, having these plants die because I was too lazy to come out and water them isn't something that's available to me. So I go up the stairs, down the stairs, watering these plants. But my husband just put in an extra long hose. So now it feels like it's cheating, but it goes a little bit into the middle of the field where I can fill them up. I still have to run around all of them, but I don't have to get there. But take a look at this. Can I just show you? You see that? Can you see that? That's a thing. No, really. Look, I am so proud of this. I'm telling my son, and I'm like, look at mommy's muscles. Look, he's like, Mom, you really got us. Like, yep. And all this is from this. Now, I have big goals around this. So what we're doing right now is bioorganic farming. We have a baby agroforest starting, and we are doing everything chemical-free, and I'm learning lots of different ways on this island. So for me, do I have lettuce and do I have lots of foods to eat? Sure. But for me, this gardening is an identity shift. This is about me deciding that, yeah, I was a big corporate woman before. I was in the hustle bustle of the city, but that's the whole part about recreating. That's the whole part about deciding how you want to live on your own terms. And I just want to do things differently, not because it was wrong before. I appreciated everything I had, but what if at this age we get to look back at what we wanted to be as a child when we were told we couldn't and decide, yeah, we can. Because whoever told us that we couldn't at that time was really just telling us what was not available for them. And so if I had to fly all the way back to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean to satisfy a dream a 6-year-old version or 5-year-old version of me had, then that's fine. That's what I'll do. So maybe you can take a look at, is there any childhood dreams that you've given up on, that you were told you can't do? And maybe at this phase of life, yes, we can do it. And we can do it better than we would have done it earlier on. One of the cool things about doing this is I do it without a headset on, or talking to someone on the phone, or doing business, or listening to cram in a podcast. That was a big switch for me because I would have definitely doubled down and been efficient. To me, this is efficient. And see, if I wasn't paying attention, I would have never noticed that happened. I wouldn't notice the tiny little things if I was multitasking, which I tell you I was the queen of. And that's a wrap for this garden talk. These plants definitely need to be watered. I've got to get moving on. But thank you for joining. I'd love for you to stay connected. Hit subscribe if you want to be connected with us in a newsletter. I will share more tips, some recipes, great questions that you can ask yourself, because this is going to be a great phase of our life if we design it. And that's what I'm up to. I can't say exactly what it looks like, but I can tell you I'm deep in the messiness of figuring it out. And it is more fun if we figure this out together than if we do it alone. So hit subscribe, hook up to the newsletter, and check out this next episode, because I'm not just stopping in this garden. There's more wild rides to come. These ones are sugarcane. Potatoes, organic potatoes. Underneath, I'm growing turmeric in the middle, and in the other bed, I'm growing ginger, organic ginger. If you would have told me that we would be filming me filling up water buckets, I would have never believed you. I would have never believed you. That's the craziest thing.